Some of the other ones were just,
I'm gonna sit over here. I don't know if I like this.
Some of them is just like semantics.
Hard.
Like
It's
Yeah, the
Lock
preference
in,
votes
not
weren't
have
on
no cooking.
66 either.
know what more.
No, I think that's all,
You have access
thank you
to
so much.
everything. I'm
No, I
so
appreciate
sorry.
it. It's not your fault at all.
I don't know what could be fixed. But, all right, good luck.
So when you put it on the phone, just put it next to the microphone.
Yeah.
Are you expecting more people? Okay, I'm gonna close.
Okay. I mean, they may come up to watch, but there's no public.
Hi, Marla. We're gonna need to mic you in over my phone. So can we leave this phone line open while we talk?
Sure, but actually, I was just able to unmute myself. Can you hear me over Zoom now?
We cannot hear you over Zoom because it's not getting back into the speakers in the library. There's a bottleneck somewhere. So you can hear us and people can hear us, but they're not going to be able to hear you talking, and you should be the only Zoom participant who's talking beside Catherine, who will have to text me to get anything across that she's trying to. Is that okay?
Whatever.
All right. So if you need to mute, just use your phone mute button. Otherwise, you're going to be live. You're going to be on the table here next to me, pointed at a microphone. Okay.
Okay,
You're sitting right behind your nameplate.
I see me.
There you go. Okay. So good evening. We're going to call the meeting to order, the York Select Board here at the York Public Library. It's 6:38 p.m. We have a few technical glitches, but we're working through them. So if we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one agenda item this evening is to review the voter guide that will be mailed to all residences in town as we've done in past years, just explaining what's on the ballot this year. So this is a meeting to go through final corrections and edits. Marla Johnson's joining us remotely, and Marla's provided edits to the manager's office earlier this week, as well as did Mary Ann Shadowski, who cannot be with us this evening. The remaining members are here and may have some edits, but a lot of them I think were captured already. So is it best to have Catherine go through what she submitted, or you want us to just throw our edits out?
Yeah, why don't we throw edits out? But can I talk just for about 30 seconds on the overall big picture?
Ready.
So we are at capacity for the document in front of you. So we have a 24-page mailer limit. This is a particularly long one, but I think the font and the spacing is about as small as I can make it without really sacrificing legibility. It's pretty small on here. I don't want to make it any smaller. If you look at this packet in front of you, it will be folded in half and it will be mailed like a booklet. So half of the back sheet that's empty would have to have the mailing address and return address on it. The other half would have just an introduction about when the election will be and details. The voter guide, maybe a brief description of what's inside that when you open it, the document. I have several other documents as well that currently can't fit in here because we have 24 pages of warrant text. I've submitted to you. So a budget message about a draft budget message from me, a finalized budget message from the superintendent that I received today, that they had done previously. And then some additional information, like just an example of like some budget charts that I think would be really helpful to put up. I know other members have, Robert and Mary Ann, and have both asked me about putting capital program up as well. However, that's about 7 or 8 pages, so it wouldn't be possible to mail it out with this. However, I'd like, if it's okay with the board, to consider on this side of it, putting a QR code that would have, in addition to what's inside, a link to additional information that just goes to a website that has our information and the school information in one page that people can click on. Want to get your thoughts on that?
I think not everyone will be able to do a QR code, so you're going to be limiting certain people from doing that.
Yep.
So that's of concern. I don't know if most people watch, do we still have a news channel?
Channel 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with the streaming Channel 3? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe a weird idea, but to like just keep putting up the pages on that channel as well for a certain amount of time of the day. That people can go up and it's just sitting there, I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, the problem with the Channel 3 is with the resolution, you can only put a very little amount of font on there. Well, it's got to be in 1080p resolution, so.
Okay.
So what's the 24-page limit? What sets that limit, and what other options are there to?
Well, that's mailing as a booklet. Anything beyond that is going to get heavier, so it's going to have to be sent. It's no longer letter class, the thickness. I guess that's 12 double-sided pages, 24. So we got,
At one time, there were also like a newsprint type
yep.
Yeah.
mailer, so.
So we've done that in the past. It has to be reformatted. You have to hire a professional to reformat it, and they don't print it at printing houses anymore. You have to give them additional lead time. We did packet for a couple years, and then we tried printing newspaper last year. It was expensive. So it's really a cost. I mean, we can send out a catalog, a 1,400-page catalog if you want, like an old Sears catalog full of town information. But the question is what people need in front of them. What we want to put in front of them is the voter, the guide, the basic of the warrant with the statements of facts. And if you look in here, we've got like the tally sheet in here, and then the summary of what it is. But I'm just looking for a way to link additional information without making it a 30 to 50-page mailer that goes out.
So, I'm sure you said this, but, so this is 23 pages,
Correct.
and then the things you want to add, we can't include?
Well, it's 24 pages because the back has to be the mailing address. We have half a page that we can put in there.
So you just have this, and you can't include this?
Right, because if we wanted to put even a minimum of 4 to 5 pages in here, it's going to take up it's going to mean compressing this down to like 7-point font, which is magnifying glass level of reading, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess I wish we knew that before.
I have a
I
question.
like it when we sent out the newspaper.
Yeah, Marlo?
Did you say that there's a tally sheet like there usually is in the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. And then QR code, just to throw it out there, I'm not so crazy about, because I thought we wanted to give the full thing in a traditional format in the spring, and in the fall we were sort of shortening things up with a QR code. Anyway, if possible, I'd prefer not to do a QR code, but there's other factors obviously at play.
We can put it in a newspaper. It's just going to be an additional cost if I figured I'm just trying to look for options
But
to
absentee ballots come
streamline
out,
things.
what's the date on
Yeah, probably the 15th.
that? 15th, I think?
The election day is May 16th,
Right.
so it's usually 30 days.
Yep. Yeah, so we're within
Could you have
printing
could you have
window.
the newspaper printed layout done by the 15th?
I don't have a time on it, but I'm sure, if we do it tomorrow, right? We have the information, but it's substantially, the cost is more, and like 3/4 of them get recycled at the post office. So I'm just trying to waste as little paper as possible, but it's your,
But I agree with Marla. I think we did talk about this, that we did the cost-effective approach in November, but we wanted to do the full-blown mailer.
this is the full-blown mailer that we've done before in terms of page count, but the pages are longer this year. So that's we're sending as many pages as we did 2 and 3 years ago, just not last year.
Okay, if you say so, but I remember the newspaper.
Yeah, we did the
time.
newspaper.
Newspaper, correct.
did the
yeah.
newspaper.
Previously to that.
Yeah. I like the newspaper kind.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
I think that would, it takes up a lot, but it's like people open it and read it like they're just reading a newspaper, which is better than them sitting looking at tiny prints. So I know it's a cost, but it's a voting thing, and it's very important.
So Marlo, you leaning toward newspaper? If you're watching us, we're all heading that way.
Whatever you guys think is best. Newspaper sounds good. Newspaper as opposed to what? No, I'm.
Well, as opposed to, it's this one mailing and then a QR code on the other information. It's bifurcated information, just trying to get it all into one document. And the newsprint documents seems to be the only way to do it, where it all arrives at the same time.
Yeah, or a bigger booklet that's going to cost more money because it's no longer letter mail, it's, parcel or whatever they have to mail it as, because it's
So
thicker.
do you run
No, but we'll talk with the printer and see what those costs.
Because if you send this, I mean, it doesn't even have any introduction.
Right, there's no
There's
intro.
nothing.
No,
You could put another page on it, but there's still,
We have another page to do the
it
introduction.
would have to be
in the
blown
back.
up a little bit more because it's still too fine print, a lot of this, for a lot of our older people to read. It's gonna be limited.
Yeah, it can't shrink more in 24
No.
pages and get that information.
does it take longer for the newspaper one to get through the mail than this?
It's dropped, so they just send it. I remember them bringing it on a pallet to be mailed. It's 10,000 copies of newsprint of 24 pages. It was a large size last year, but I don't know if I don't think anything takes a substantially long time to mail. I think it's a couple days either way.
Yeah.
The printing is the only part that's substantial, and we have 15, to get to your point, we have 15 days lead time right now, which is why I was looking for this meeting.
Well, I guess the question I was going down, is building on some of the other members' questions, but if it was beyond 24 pages and you were 30 pages, because I think this is double
I think
sided.
we're into that 30-page range, yeah.
So the cost of this one with 30 pages versus the newspaper with whatever it is, maybe larger font.
Do you have a preference or a preference based on price from the board? Or would you just want it in a newspaper regardless? Would you like it in this?
Tell us the price. I'll tell
Right, yeah.
Or
I guess I'm hearing from the members that it's one document arrives in the mailbox, and, it arrives, and all the data is there.
Okay.
And then it's a cost thing, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm hearing.
So either 28-page to 30-page booklet
Right. Is
with
it
the additional postage cost.
2% more? Is it 50% more? Is
We'll
it
take the cheaper-
5% less? Is
we'll
it-
take the cheaper
And I'll
one.
take the cheaper of the two, either 28 to 30-page like this, or the larger print being 20 to 25 pages, but 26 pages, but having
But I'm
two-
also, you want it available as close to the 15th as possible, not have it show up on, May
Yeah, we're in
8th or something. I mean,
We're in timeline, so all the documentation is done. We're in time to put it together and print it, we just need to make a decision.
And I
to go,
guess if
so.
it's, even if the newspaper is a little more expensive, but as long as it's not materially more expensive, I would do that. Now, don't ask me to define materially, but
Oh, I understand.
So Marla, you try to jump in?
I'll put my neck out there to define. Go ahead, Marla, you're on mic.
Yeah, so people are going to be getting their ballots anyway. It seems to me that one of the main purposes of this document is to give them additional information. And so I don't think we should cut corners on giving them additional information. It costs what it costs. We want to educate our voters and give them the backup information. And so that's kind of where I stand. Let's do what we need to do.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of saying the same song here, maybe a different tune, but, or different key, but, okay. Robert has his own microphone. So,
Is that what we need to get Marla live? We need to put the microphone into the.
so you want to
phone
go through what the two pieces
sure.
are and the corrections, and we'll capture all the changes folks have made, and
Yep.
who's gonna lead that part? Is that you or Catherine or?
Yep, I'm fine. Do you want to do it individually or go by article?
Just go page
So
by
one, there's no changes for one, because that can't be changed. 2 and 3 are form. I guess we get into 4 is our operating budget, so that's the first one with any. Yeah, I'll do it by page. How about that? Page 1,
Page 2, we're on page 2.
page 2?
Robert?
So, this is not a big deal, but number 6, the statement of fact, you have that first paragraph which says, this is for the fire departments and the ambulance and the fire hydrants. Then the second paragraph is the York ambulance. And the third paragraph starts, this article provides funding for. It seems to me that we don't need that third paragraph.
Yep.
That we should just need in the first paragraph, when we say fire hydrants, we could say after that, provided by 3 independent water districts, and do away with the rest of that. Do you follow me?
Yep.
I do. That looks right.
Sounds good. Marla, you good with that?
Sure.
Saved a couple lines there, okay.
Yeah.
Other ones?
Read better.
Page 3?
So did 7 change?
So do you need statement of fact, this article provides funding for all public works, or do you just say for public works, department operations, including personnel, da-da-da? Or do you you need the word all repeated multiple times in that sentence? You know, this article provides funding for public works, department operations, including personnel, comma, non-dependent, you know, not and. Just make it a smooth sentence.
Everybody good with that? Striking the alls, redundant.
And then in 7, the statement of fact, the last paragraph beginning relating to this article, and it talks about budget to be overspent by not more than 15% without consent of the select board for matters such as, I don't think we need to say as overspending related. I think as
Such
matters
as winter
such
weather
as winter
impacts.
weather
Yeah.
impact.
Yep.
And then it didn't have a period, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
Period. Got it.
You good, Marla?
Yep.
Okay. Any others on page 2? Page 3?
So I have a question on 10. It talks about the revenue provided in Article 17. So it's not broken out, though. Is that sort of, that revenue is that like in miscellaneous or something?
Not this article that's broken out here, the revenues, excise taxes, that's not the one.
So in 17, it doesn't show like
Ella Short Sands?
Ella Short Sands.
This is an authorization to receive revenue.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if at some point it was something like other offsetting revenues are shown in Article 17, because offsetting revenues for Ella Short Sands aren't in Article 17, they're here in Article 10.
Well, right, but
think-
why does it say 17? So this should be a net number in 10. Or, because it's,
Well, it authorizes everything that we receive from them to receive everything. So that's based on the actual cost that we incur during the year. It varies. There's not a set amount.
right.
I would strike that offsetting revenues are provided in Article 17 as written. I don't think it does anything, do you?
No.
It's not like it's warrant language.
Right.
It's not telling voters anything that's helpful,
Well,
except for creating confusion.
So just take that sentence out.
Mary Ann had pointed to that as well.
so the offsetting revenues are
Different.
provided in Article 17 is stricken.
Oh, did she have a change for this?
She didn't, but she was asking why there was a general assistance was treated differently.
You good,
I'll
Marla?
refer back to 17.
Yes.
Yep. Any others on page 3? Page 4?
So I have the same question on 14.
Yes. So did Mary Ann. This is the one that I can explain. So it's listed twice, and it's not listed in offsetting revenue because it's asking us to raise one amount and appropriate another amount. That's why it's split. The warrant language, at least my take, is that the warrant language is asking to appropriate 124,000, but only 96,000 of that comes from tax revenue.
Okay.
I had that same question.
Yeah, it was like, makes no sense to me. So, okay.
Is it A1?
It's taxing for one amount.
We're
and
on
it's-
14? Article 14?
I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but is this the GA one?
Yes, it is.
Yep, it's captured in there, yep.
And then the whole general fund reserve
Get
account?
it back from the state, right?
Yes, correct. It's revenue received back from the state for GA, Marla.
Robert?
In that same article, the general fund reserve account, do we really have one of those? So the last sentence of the
Which they can
statement of
receive,
fact.
yeah.
I thought we just allocate it and spend it, or else we.
I thought we had it in something else.
Allocated private tax funds are used to replenish a general fund reserve account.
Is it the same as a general assistance account, the general fund account?
Yeah, but-
I don't know, but I know that there are not. It's spent every year.
Right. So that it doesn't
If not
replenish.
for-
If there were surplus, maybe they would go into a reserve account, but I don't
But
think that
we'd have
this
to have
is,
set that up, and maybe we did, but I don't.
it's not currently happening, to put it that way.
Because it's
So-
totally spent every year.
I'd take it off.
Take it
Yeah,
off.
because we've been allocating extra money at the end of the year.
Okay.
To supplement, right?
Yeah, supplemental amounts. And I've heard
So-
they had another high-take year this year, and we may have a similar type
So on
of
page 4,
situation.
under statement of fact for Article 14, striking the last sentence is proposed.
Allocated, yep, to,
Begins with allocated, ends with reimbursement. We're good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others on 4? 5, page 5?
Good. Yeah.
Page 6, I had one, but it was captured, or it was a format issue, wasn't any substance.
I'm okay with 6.
Page 6, we're good? Page 6, page 7?
What article numbers are you on?
So page 6 starts with 23, 24.
I've got something on Article 33 when you get there.
that's page 7, so
Yeah,
we're
so
on
we're
page
on page
7
7 now, so 33.
There's the box after Article 33,
Yep.
and conversation that Catherine and I had earlier, she moved that box down, but it needs to be moved down one more line so that the yes and no for Article 33 are
Under each other.
before the box. Does that
They
make
are,
sense?
yeah, we've got it in the revised version here based on your comments, so I think it's reflected. Does that,
Are you sure? Because the one you sent out by email didn't have the yes/no line.
so right now, the version in front of me from today, incorporating all the changes, has 33, a yes vote, a no vote, yes, no check boxes, and then the box that says the following article, and then Article 34 follows that.
Okay, so it sounds like there's another version that was printed today that I haven't seen yet. Okay,
Yeah, you just handed it out.
good. All right.
Captured corrections, yep. Anything else on 7?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Page 8?
Okay, Marla, this starts with 35, 36.
I'm good with 8.
Good on 8. Page 9?
This is
Article 39 through 41?
39 through 41. Everybody
We're good?
approve of the general idea with the financial statement being up top and then,
Yeah.
That's good. Page 10, so it's Article 42 through 44.
I'm good with that.
I'm good.
Page 11? 45 through
45 through
47?
48, 47, 48.
48 starts?
So I just wondered on 47, where we put CDL, is that just so common everybody will know what that means? Or should we tell people that that's
No,
the
you're
commercial
right.
driver's list?
We should, yep.
Where is that?
It's in the, like, the third line from the bottom of statement of facts, CDL capitalized. Below it, down below.
No, this-
Oh, yeah. I wondered what that meant.
So just spell that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good catch.
Yep.
It's one of those TLAs.
Page 11, or page 12 goes from continue with 48 through Article 50. Page 13, Article 51 through
so on 12,
12, on page 12.
so 49, statement of fact, the third line down is provide funding to continue Phase 5. So should it be to continue?
and
Is that the right?
No,
verb?
it should say continue with, or to continue on, or,
on with.
yeah.
Something
I mean,
should go in
because
here.
we haven't really started phase 5.
It hasn't started as yet?
No.
So I was thinking to
Just
begin.
to begin,
Yeah. Or to continue with, or to begin.
or to
either.
begin phase 5.
You go with that, Marla?
Yes.
Right, I'll to
Just
begin.
fall, right?
Yeah.
Anything else on page 12? Page 13, it's Article 51 through 54. Page 14 is continuing with the ending of 54 for Article 57.
I didn't have anything.
Page 15 is continuing Article 57 through the beginning of Article 60. Page 16, continuing at Article 60 and beginning Article 64, special general referenda articles of the zoning proposals. Page 17, continuing with Article 64 and beginning Article 65 and the beginning of Article 66. Page 18, continuing with Article 66 and going through the beginning of Article 70. Page 19, continuing with Article 70 and beginning with Article 73. Page 20, we're continuing with
I'm
the,
sorry, I was looking at the new one instead of my old one that I wanted to.
oh, we'll go
on-
back.
Okay.
Which one do you have a question on?
Let's see, which one was it? I think it was just like, yeah, no, lodging home/tourist homes on page 17. It says that do not have no cooking facilities. Makes no sense. Right, on the second to the last line on the lodging and home/tourist home inn, it says that do not have no cooking facilities, so,
So you need to clean that up.
yeah, we just clean that sentence up.
Yeah, Peter?
So where are you?
It's actually at the top of 18 on the new version.
Yeah, the new version.
But it's like 3 lines from where you thought it was.
Okay.
So on this
They
one,
corrected it.
Oh, it's corrected?
it says, and which is struck. That do not is in italics. Have remains and no is struck.
Okay, good.
So it reads, offered to the public for such use
Yeah,
that do not have cooking facilities. Okay.
Right.
15, regularly maintained and offered to the public for such use that do not have cooking
that's what
facilities.
I wanted.
Period.
Okay, good.
So that's captured in the new, the
Yeah.
modified one.
So was that a strike through that didn't make it through in the old version or something? Because I'm very interested to see how that,
Yeah, because I
Didn't
had
get
it in
picked
the
up.
old version and I was like, what is that?
okay.
Okay, where are we? Page 19? We're on 19?
And could we read on the new version on 5.1, 5.2? I have too many versions.
70, article, page 18, article 70.
5.2, 7 feet tall. I think they took it out. Okay, it was struck out. Because there was a bunch of words in there that didn't make much sense. Yep, it was struck out. I'm good.
Back on 19?
Yep,
Any on 19?
yes,
Okay.
I'm 19. And then on, oh, are we on 20 yet?
Nope. Moving up to 19, going to 20.
I'm good for 19.
Page 20?
Let's see, maybe it's already white goods and scrap metals. Where's that?
What
Maybe
section,
it's,
what 4 point something?
It's 4.23,
White goods and scrap metal?
white goods and scrap metal, I'm just seeing, and not, yeah, it says including by example and not by, that should be not B, but by limitation.
Can't
So-
change that. We can't,
Including, for example.
yeah, that's ordinance language. We can't
Oh,
change it.
okay.
But you're absolutely right. That is
Okay.
that's a bad one, huh?
You seeing that next year?
It says by example and not by.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, the down below it says and not by limitation,
Right.
but up above it says not be
B
limitation.
limitations, yeah,
It's the
okay.
Irish version of the white goods and scrap metal.
So
Not be limitation.
it's like, oh,
Any others on page 20?
and I'm good for page 20.
Page 22, continuing with the recycling solid waste.
And I'm
Yeah,
good.
these we can't unless there's something we
Right, this is-
screwed up. These we can't
Yeah.
change the word.
Okay, and I'm good.
And then 23 was just completing that, and the addition of the preference votes was added on that. That was
Yeah.
caught by
Yeah,
me.
we need the dashes by the preference vote.
Yeah,
Right. The dash is under.
yeah. We need the dashes.
Oh yeah, for a check. Yep. Yes. No. Got it.
Okay.
Tally sheet.
Looks correct.
So additional, let's see, got things out of order. So additional supplemental information, I have a draft of a budget letter here. Depending on length, I have a few more items to put in here, depending on what I have to work with, so it's open-ended. But the first part of it is pretty much form. It's talking about some, I did a tax impact summary with the assessor for, I like to always put something like that in. Just outlined a few operating budget items, similar to the presentation I did to the budget committee. I am gonna add as much space as we have to describe capital items, so that could be 1 page or it could be 3 pages, depending on what I have to fill, so that's kind of what's left there at the end. May just be one line with an item next to them, or we may be able to do some descriptions in there, so. I'd like to do, I'm thinking of talking with the schools, and do you think that this is busy? Do you like this? This is kind of for you to react to. Something that I worked on. So I broke out this is the entire town appropriation, exclusive of county essentially. So it's the school and the municipal. For Marla, this is just a pie chart that shows all of our items, by department. I've broken out by administration, police.
Can she see this?
She can, I'll text her a picture, but she can comment on it. We'll send you a picture, Marla. But then I've just got the schools next to it that just has the total school, but I'd like to see how they maybe talk with the superintendent, see if they'd like to break that out by either building or department. If we could come to something that works, do you think that that's helpful to?
You trying to say something?
Oh, sorry, Marla, go ahead.
Or cost center, they're very
Yes.
center focused.
Yes, that's, yeah, by department cost center or building, however they think it would work best. But do you think that would be helpful, something that,
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it would be. Lots of people are graphic, they can see it.
yeah,
Also, it's been suggested on my end that we still do a QR code for those who like QR codes.
Yeah.
It
I was
doesn't
gonna bring that up.
replace anything, but.
yep. Yeah, I was thinking of putting all of this up on, the whole thing up with any attachments on just a web page that we can either QR code or just a one-line URL link to, one or the other, so. Yep, so it's all,
No,
Just-
people can share it that way
It's
too.
all,
QR
it's
code,
almost
share the
gonna be
QR code.
on the town website anyway, right?
yes, yep.
Just stick everything up there, that it's multiple ways of getting the
Yeah, 'cause they
information.
could pass the QR code on to somebody else.
Yep, the QR code will go to the same page as where all the documents can be uploaded to, so.
So in the pie chart,
Yes.
might be helpful. I mean, it's really gonna get busy if the schools break out a whole bunch, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, I was thinking of doing one like this that shows our 45% and the school's 55%, and then one the other way around that show the schools broken out with just the town. I'm open to ideas, putting them side by side maybe,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Like half the pie, half the
Yeah.
pie.
Yeah, so, because you're right, because otherwise there's just, you're not going to be able to tell
Many.
where the town stuff starts and where the school stuff starts. I mean, I'll leave that up to the schools if they want to, if, I haven't talked with Tim, but if he likes this idea, we could do one that's like this for the schools, broke out by their cost centers, and one that's like this for the town, broke out by our kind of warrant articles.
And I think it is like the schools, because you haven't broken it out yet, has the full number, the 48, 49 million.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere it'd be helpful to have the whole number.
For the
Yes.
town as well.
And then here's the breakdown. I don't know.
So total, maybe up at the top where you
Have
put it in a
total,
box with total amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, it would say 30 million over here, and then it would have all the school stuff broken out, and if I reverse that
I
chart.
think it's cool for the voters to see.
And is it a net number or a gross number, thinking about revenues?
This is gross because I couldn't easily come up with a way to assign revenues to individual departments and make that comparable to the school, because the school receives revenues for different things as well. So this is gross authorization to spend. So it's, $10,000 high on our end of what the actual tax impact is, and it's $4 million high on the school end from what their actual tax impact is.
And so maybe does that need to be explained in some brief way? Because it's
Maybe.
going to be on the municipal side especially, it's going to be a significantly higher number than is
Yep.
being proposed to raise from taxes, right?
So I've got an idea, total dollars for up at the top, total budget dollars. And then the chart below is expenditures only exclusive of revenues, and put the total revenue amount in there.
Okay.
Because it does match what's in the warrant article. The warrant article would match,
Right.
Correct.
which is good.
Yeah, if somebody adds up.
Until you start subtracting revenues, it will equal, but yeah, you're right.
Or is it better to do percentage of total budget?
I had it first without the dollars, then I put the dollars in. I'm really open to either with percentages. You run into the same problem with percentages unless you do gross, because, the school versus town side thing, I can make that look 10% larger or bigger one way or the other, depending where I count and book revenues. So I just went with gross to try to be apples to apples. So if I did a column where I put the 10,100,000 in town revenues, assign them against departments, and then it looks like the school is 65% of the budget, but they're really 55% of the budget. So it doesn't really look,
Or you could do it, don't even have the.
Equitable.
dollar amounts in there. Just have
Yeah.
the total.
Yeah.
Just have the total on the town side of the school, illustrating the pie.
Yep.
Piece of the pie of the proportion of the budget, but not having that number because it's in the.
yeah, I could leave the dollars out and I could put percents. I think that might be,
I think that would be better.
It gets at the point that was brought up by Marla, that people start adding it up. They're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what?
right, and revenues in some warrant articles are reflected in the warrant article, and revenues in other places are shown in the revenue article,
Yeah.
so.
I think percentage would be better.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I like the illustration, it's good.
And I can say division of percentage by gross expenditure does not include revenue. And then I don't have to put the revenue amount or the budget amount.
Really confuse people.
Well, I mean, I think when you have state aid revenue coming
Yeah,
in for
right,
schools, where does that count? What does that count against, so?
Excise taxes.
Yeah, excess, yep.
Well, there's no action other than our discussion and feedback for you good this evening, so any other
Anything else that we feel needs to?
manager? Marla, any words of wisdom for our town manager before he moves to print with all these documents?
No, thank you for making this work.
Glad you could join us, we're
Yeah.
in sort of hybrid of the hybrid mode.
Yeah, thank you so very much,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you, and with that, if we're ready to adjourn,
So moved.
Let's do it a little early.
Second.
meeting is adjourned at 7:15 PM. Still live,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Marla.
still live.
I just realized it was like. Oh, it's
Yep.
still on.
Alex is, let me tell him to shut us down here.
Well, I'll turn the cameras off because people will be looking for Channel 3 and they'll look at a dark room when we all leave.
Yeah, I'm making sure he stops the broadcast and the Zoom feed at the same time. Is there a little Extron amp and knob on the wall near the podium? No.
That was short and sweet.
I won't leave till I know the room is dead, don't worry.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't believe you're in such good shape. Can't believe you're in such good shape. I mean, how long are you on the plane?
12, 13 hours. I know, I'm one of those weird individuals. But the minute I sit in my couch, I'll be out.
Well, thank you for coming down.
Of course. Good night.
I gotta guard the room until we're dead, so. Is this where I can do a little dance out there on Channel 3?
Can I leave you in charge of the?
I think I can handle the lights, I can make it. Everything good?
I feel like I don't have any work.
See you tomorrow,
Yep, you are.
10 o'clock. I know, what are you here for if you? Alex Gagnon, paging Alex Gagnon. Please kill the broadcast, Alex. I'm guessing I'm still live from the messages I'm receiving, so this can be story time with Pete. Just kidding. Hey, so we're still live here in the meeting room, but everyone has left except me. I'm not leaving until the cameras are dead, so we don't broadcast from the leave it running.
I'm on a walk with the dogs. Hold on 1 second. I'll swap it right now.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten texts from the audience that they're sick of my dancing and story time with Pete from the podium microphone. So, okay, thanks, Alex. Yep.